And welcome back. Welcome to welcome to Comically Exposed. My name is Gabbie Blachman.
And my name is Heather Nye.
And this is a podcast that we talk about OCD and doing comedy stuff and becoming comedy people and eventually, I don't know, getting paid to do comedy stuff.
True. Also, this is episode 8.
Okay, that was well done. Good. I totally forgot what our intro was. It was just
we
goofing.
Don't have one.
Cool. So welcome to episode 8. And at this point, you know the drill. We talk about goals that we set for the last episode. How did it go? And then we set some goals going forward. We talk about some OCD stuff. And then we say bye-bye. And this episode may be a little bit short.
Might be. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Things happen so organically. So it's just, we have intentions and then stuff happens.
Speaking of organic transitions, Heather, how has your past couple of weeks been in terms of comedy goals?
Not very great.
Cool.
I haven't really done much. Just had a little bit of OCD pop up.
Okay,
just a little bit means
that.
OCD popped up. So one of my things. It's like it's only my thing. No, is overthinking.
Yeah.
Something I struggle with sometimes, especially when I end up in a loop. I tend to overthink, but not in a way that people may think it is. So with me, or with OCD in general, you think you're problem solving, but the reality is it's a problem that you can't really solve. Mm-hmm. You're thinking about it. You're constantly thinking about it. And you're thinking in some way where you can kind of control the outcome.
Yeah.
And recently I just watched, so I paid for access to IOCDF's, which is the International OCD Foundation online conference. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In October. And I haven't watched the on-demand conference parts. And today I thought it was really important to watch one in particular that's called Thinking on Thinking, Shared Strategies in terms of overthinking and how to overcome. Mainly because for me, I expose myself all the time, but the important part of ERP is figuring out the RP, why am I now
response
struggling?
Prevention.
Response prevention. I was like, right when I had to say it, it left my brain. So response prevention. And finding things to be able to sit with the uncomfortable feeling, which is usually the anxiety, and actually finding strategies to basically exercise the response, which in some ways they're a little devious. I don't know what your therapist has told you to do, but one in particular that I recently learned was called penny sock, where you stick a penny in your sock, which is very annoying.
Sorry. Yeah. Speaking of annoying, somebody's barking. So give me 2 shakes and then we're going to get into penny sock. All right. I'm just going to say it. I don't know why. I know we can't afford much on this show, but having Bunny be our producer is just not. He's loud. He pulls focus. He's always trying to do his ASMR videos. Okay, now that everybody's settled, Heather, can you please explain penny sock?
Yes, penny sock is literally what it is a penny in your sock, and you basically put a penny in your sock for the entire day, and it's meant to annoy you. It's meant to be a distraction, and it simulates. It's a physical simulation, basically, of an intrusive thought, right? Because it's the pain, the anguish that we feel. And so the intent is noticing the penny, but not engaging. So you're not even engaging with the annoyance. And that, for those who don't have the disorder, is a really big part of OCD. is the reason why we go to the compulsion, because honestly, we can't control intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts will always happen for everybody, mostly for OCD people, but everybody has intrusive thoughts. But compulsions don't always happen for everybody. And compulsions are there for relief. Distraction from the annoyance, the anxiety, the fear, the whatever the emotion is attached to it that's uncomfortable. And so after a while, the theory is you won't notice it anymore. So even though it's still there, you might forget it's there. And that's the intent, is to basically train a muscle within your mind to be able to tolerate an annoyance. And I thought that was brilliant. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. But they were also saying that it doesn't have to be a penny. It can be anything. It could be in your sock. It can be in, like, if, it could be like in a pocket or something like that. You can start small. You can start big, mostly small, but you want to start where you can start, basically. But I thought that was such a brilliant idea to be able to work on that, response prevention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly because it's, one of the things about exposures, and we've talked about it, is that they take place in relative safety, right? Nobody's going to ask you if you have an overwhelming terror of tigers. No therapist is going to say, jump in the cage, right?
Yeah.
So instead you do an imaginal exposure, something like that. So this is a relatively safe way. And it is like, for me, I find that intrusive thought, this may sound dumb, it's in your head, right? But it pulls you into your head. It takes you out of your body.
Yes, it does.
And so having a physical irritant, like a penny in the sock, kind of sticks you back in your body. And it's just like a whole other physical thing to do with it. And I also was thinking about intrusive thought, which, everybody has, but it's a disorder because we assign so much meaning.
We do.
To the thought, right?
Yeah.
And the penny in the sock it's just so great because it's like you can assign meaning to that penny, right? Like, my foot is going to get injured from this. I'm going to develop a blister.
Yes.
I don't know what other meaning. It's going to dye my sock a fun color, whatever.
Yeah, the bacteria on the penny is going to infect
that's a tough one
foot.
because copper actually has a lot of antimicrobial effects.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It doesn't matter. It's probably the cleanest currency that we... Okay, we're on a tangent.
No, I should put it in my mouth.
That's exactly what it was good. Thank you. And shout out to our friends with contamination issues who have just turned the podcast off.
Yes.
It gives you something that you could assign meaning to, right? There's a penny in my shoe and I have to solve that problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting back to what you were
Yeah.
talking about originally.
Yes.
But you're the one who's being like, no, we're not going to solve that problem. We're just going to sit with it or walk with it and have it go. Fascinating.
Yeah, and it's, another one for the arsenal, right, of tools, because you can't just use one tool to be able to kind of train your mind, to, not detach, to not engage, or to not engage but not detach, or to avoid.
Yeah.
It's you don't want to distract yourself. You're aware that it's happening, that it is a penny in your sock. Yeah, exactly. And so you're more present-minded.
Yeah. And you're still doing whatever it is that you want to be doing outside of the penny in the sock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's so cool. Yeah, I had a million jokes while you were talking that I was like, don't say it, Gabbie. Okay, I'm just going to say one. You said you're like, it doesn't even have to be a penny. It can be anything. I was like, yeah, 2 pennies. Anyway. $5 worth of pennies.
Yes, $5 worth of pennies in one sock.
In one sock. You'll never notice it, guys. You will definitely stop noticing $5 worth of pennies. But I did want to say a couple of things, which is, one, even though you said that you haven't done a lot of stuff with comedy. You have been working on a lot of projects, this podcast for one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you say that dismissively, but I'm saying it.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I say it also judgmentally.
Yeah.
Because I don't want, it's like talking about the podcast on the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. We're meta.
Yeah.
Come after us.
I know.
You know?
I know.
But that is work still that you are doing that furthers comedy, right? Furthers your expertise in podcasting. And you've been helping out a friend of ours try and figure out some audio issues for them, you know, to whatever results. But I'm just saying you're putting in work.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
You know.
I am helping in aid of comedy. So
that's right.
I'm just judging myself. I'm truly judging myself for not writing as much as I want to. And so I know that it's judgment. I can name it for what it is. Okay.
I hear the judgment. I also wonder, is it easier to work on other people's stuff or mutually, like our mutual podcast goals than to...
Yes. Yeah.
I already knew the answer.
Of course you do, because you're like, yeah. I mean,
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not OCD, right? That's just me trying to like be
a creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And putting yourself out there.
That too. But even like writing. So when you talk about writing, are you talking about writing and submitting it someplace? Is that the whole idea? And is that what's holding you back? Or is it just sitting down, cranking out an hour worth of tip-tap typing?
For right now, I think it's the tip-tap typing issue. But I also think you're also stumbling on something is the whole rejection component of it. Because if I don't finish it, then I have nothing to be rejected by.
That's right. And that's why instead of a penny, I'm going to say shoot yourself in the foot. Because then no one can ask you to run a marathon.
True. And then that's, you know, what's interesting is that I have been contemplating doing a rejection file, just like our friend Kelsey is doing right now. Shout out to Kelsey, writer extraordinaire. Yeah, because she's been the most productive in her writing and more, I think, bold, honestly. I mean, whether or not she would actually say that, but I think she's like putting herself out there and, you know, and doing any kind of creative work, not just for comedy, but just creative work. Oh, yeah. Putting yourself out there. It is very impressive. When we talk to her, I'm like, oh, snap. Yeah. And this podcast is now is called Kelsey. It's Kelsey. Our savior. The Cult of Kelsey. Yeah, the Cult of Kelsey. There we go. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was. Did you hear your name, Kelsey? All right. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's easier for me to fold socks than it is to finish writing this sketch. Right? It's easier for me to. I mean, fold socks sounds delightful. I will stick my hand and clean out a garbage disposal before. Right? And I wonder how much of that is just the creative process. I wonder how much of that is self-doubt. I wonder how much of that is rejection. Yeah. Perceived down the line rejection, which I'm going to say again, is that future problem solving. Could we tie that back into OCD? Yeah. And then the thinking about the thinking is also part of it. It's it's like I hate it. Like, why does this happen? Because if I didn't think, I was like, I always go, I just have to do it. But then let me think about this a little bit more because I have more questions to ask. And then, you know, time to put the dishes away. Yay! A task that I didn't want to do until I had something more meaningful to do. Yes. Okay. Shoot. What was I going to ask you? Or it's back to me and the damn Wi-Fi. You know what? Oh, like you setting up like home network. Yeah. I know. It's amazing all the things that Heather is now like a moderate to expert in, just in the time that I've known you. Truly.
It's like, do you need a Wi-Fi system? I'm not just talking like any Wi-Fi. I'm talking like mesh. I'm telling you, she's got like the ability to run troubleshooting on a system, and I don't know.
It's no longer the mesh though, but we don't have to talk about Wi-Fi because this would be a very boring,
Welcome back to Wi-Fi talk.
What would be that podcast name?
Wi-Pi. Nope. Let's keep moving.
Why not pie?
Yeah, why not pie? The Wi-Pod. Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Anyhow, we're both comedians. Please hire us. Well, I was going to talk to you about the IOCD conference because a couple of years back during the pandemic, I also attended their online one and then was given access to the whole conference for a number of days. Now, was my OCD kind of running rampant because it was the height of the pandemic and I didn't have a lot of other stuff to focus on? Oh, yeah. But I was going to ask you, because what happened to me was I got very OCD about reading the full list of panels and programming and stuff and highlighting and then deciding all the ones that I had to watch and I had to listen to, and then got like the whole conference happened. I watched a bunch of them live, and then I watched a bunch of them, the pre-tapes. And then I got hugely overwhelmed, avoided the shit out of it, let the access lapse because you're only given so many days after the conference is over, and then beat myself up for all the many panels and helpful talks that probably could have changed my life. How are you doing?
I think when it first came out in October, I was in a better place with my mentals, and I actually was very focused on the things that related to the things that I was most concerned about. And but the one thing that I didn't do is attend officially the online. So I missed a couple of the ones that I really wanted to attend. And the one that makes me laugh the most was about the social anxiety one, because it was a group session. And I was like, of course, I would miss the social anxiety one.
Well, do we think anybody showed up to that one? I don't think anybody showed up. And I think the panel went like, no, yeah, that's on us. Yeah.
Yeah. I did feel a little overwhelmed. I watched one that was so fascinating. I watched a ERP session, an exposure session live, or not live. I was recorded, but it was, right. But it, at the time it was live. And I was thinking, wow, this woman is very brave. And it was interesting to see the different techniques and what the therapist was doing, because it also taught me a few things. Was I holding back? But not judging myself. I was just thinking about it. It was like, that sensation that you get when you feel uncomfortable in an exposure. And then I was thinking, because I do a lot of dissociation. And so, which is a detachment and avoidance, sometimes it happens more naturally than others, but yeah. But then I watched two other parts of the conference at the same time, like at the same day. And it was just so intense. Like, I think that if I went the entire day and attended all the ones that I thought I was going to attend, I think I would be very overwhelmed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm being selective.
Good
of the ones that I'm interested in. I have been reading some, but I haven't been highlighting and revisiting the ones that I wanted to go attend. And so I'm mostly looking to the things, and then also collecting some information. Like, I've been taking notes, like some notes, because some things like the sock thing was interesting.
Yeah.
And then also being able to tap in with the people, because they gave their email addresses, and, seeing if they had other things that they're working on, or other takes on how to practice things for thinking unthinking. So I don't know. I'm trying my best.
Yeah. That's all you're doing great, man. Doing great.
Okay. Now that we've talked about me a lot.
Nice try. This episode is called Heather.
How about you, Gabbie? What have you been working on?
Well, thank you. I had a bunch of stuff I had like 3 or 4 things that I was going to do. And I will say the main one that I tried to do is the Batshit Roommate podcast. I've wanted my sister to be the first guest for a long time. And Heather, you and I talked about like how to set up Squadcast, which is how we record this one, signing up for Descript, which level of subscription service to get, like the whole thing. So my sister, the farmer, has more availability in the wintertime because the sun sets at like 5 p.m. and it starts freezing. And so there's like, she really can't work. So I was really excited for us to record. And the first time we tried it, the same thing happened to us as had happened to you and I, where we couldn't figure out why we couldn't hear each other. And it's because there was like an echo toggle, but we didn't figure that out until a very frustrating hour and a half had passed. So at the end of that, I was like, hey, buddy, you still want to record? And she was like, no. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. So then the next time we tried it and we did like a first episode, right? Pretty cool. Afterwards, I mean, Squadcast kept giving like these notifications like app is not focused or Wi-Fi is struggling or what, it kind of felt like a read every now and then. But we finished and then I downloaded the, files. Great. And then I went to listen to them the other day. Well, here's something cool. Squadcast did not record any of hers because her Wi-Fi was so shitty.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah, I eventually found like one of them. It doesn't matter. So that was like, okay, strike 2.
Yep.
Cool. Then Thanksgiving comes around and she's spending the night over here with me. So we were like, okay, well, we'll record together. So we record in person. I've got my laptop right there. It is a phenomenal episode. Okay. It's like the first one. Yeah, I know you can tell where this is going. It's the first one where I felt like loose. We remembered so much stuff about, us living together and various stories and whatever. And we're laughing. We're having a great time. It's like an hour long. And I look over and my laptop has turned itself. The screen is black. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I wake it up. Who forgot to hit record?
Oh my goodness, Gabbie.
And that's why they call me a genius, And I don't throw that term around lightly. Yeah. That one stung. Because at least the rest of the time it was like, technology. No. This was just me not hitting the recording. But I mean, I can't. So we did just like a test session, and because I said, hey, do you have another episode in you? And she said, no. Again, totally understandable. The takeaway is this. I now have a checklist, and the checklist says, make sure there are 2 types of recording happening for each person. And then it says, check to see that you've hit the recording. And then the next one says, really, check to see that you've hit the record button. So feeling good.
Good.
Yeah. The other thing is that the open mic night, the only one that works with my schedule, the one that comes every month, was today. And I really debated going to do it. I don't think I can after last time. So, I got to figure out something there. The good things are the checklist, and I bought the script. So I'm a full-fledged, I won't say podcaster because I didn't hit record, but something, a paying member.
Yes.
I don't know.
You're doing good. There's no,
Thanks.
So it does take a lot to do. I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I think you're going to reassure me, and I really appreciate that. But we don't have to do it. I think we've done enough OCD talk for the day. It's fine. There were other stuff that I was going to do, like pick a date for the table read, like finish this sketch I had, blah, 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 blah. None of that happened either. Yeah. I don't know if we've talked about it on this show or not, but I'm doing TMS for a couple months, and I think, almost halfway through. And it's exhausting. It is very tiring. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot out of me. And so I'm trying to be gentle with myself. As you can tell by me. No. Anyway. So.
Yeah, it's not helpful when you start to judge yourself and criticize the things that you haven't done.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
No, I wouldn't, because I am perfect.
She did it. She did it.
I did it. I said it.
Uh-huh. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you way back when.
Oh.
When you're having a lot of OCD around, I call it future problem solving, right? There's a problem you can't solve, but you're still thinking about it, ruminating, trying to solve it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Do you ever have dreams about it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I have had dreams where I need to do like some writing or like some kind of low programming or build something. Mm-hmm. And I will have fucking done it. Wake up, realize that I didn't actually do it, be so pissed off, go back to sleep. What do you think my brain is served up again? Yeah. Building the arc
like an alternate reality.
Time. Yeah, it truly fucking sucks. Anyway, does that ever happen to you?
My dreams, I call them anxiety dreams. And cute. I also call the future problem solving, future tripping. Because that's where I'm going. Because it trips me up. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
It's future tripping. Okay. I don't dream about doing the stuff, like getting it done. I dream about trying to get it done, and it is impossible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Those dreams. Yeah.
Yes, and it's more often than not like about like not being able to finish something, and which causes more anxiety, which is great because it wakes me up, and then I jump out of bed, and then I can't get back to sleep because my adrenaline's running.
Yeah. And nothing like being panicked out of a sleep state.
Oh, yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, along with OCD, we're selling panic attacks. People, if you haven't tried this, it is an excellent way to exercise the heart without any real reason. Yeah. Feel like you're drowning, like the walls are closing in, like you can't breathe, like you can't swallow. Any other ones that you?
The one that I think about once I is choking and can't breathe when I have my panic attack is where they will find my dead body.
Ooh,
and who will find my dead body?
Sexier.
I know. It's a lot of death talk.
Yeah. I mean, it's that time of year. Is it?
Yep. It's now the holidays.
Exactly. It's the most deathiest time of the year. I'm very sing-songy today. Do you want to skip to what we're going to do?
Yeah. Well, first we should mention.
Oh, yeah.
We're going on winter break.
That's right. Just like we were in 6th grade.
And so episode 9 will actually be broadcasted on January 10th, 2024.
That's crazy.
I know. So over the break.
Yes. These
are my goals.
Ooh.
1, I finished my humor writing class.
Yay.
This month, early in this month. Or December, I should state which month we're in. Uh-huh. And I'm hoping that I would have pieces, or at least started pieces, to be able to submit.
Hey.
So I'm excited about that. To be rejected would be a nice one to feel. Or not nice, but, be a nice practice.
An exposure, if you will.
And yes, an exposure. The other thing was I really did want to finish I say this all the time, but I do want to take time and finish my first episode of my audio podcast. And my plan is to actually submit it to somebody for review.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now that's motivating. You stick a date on top of that, and you've really got yourself a piece of the pie.
A piece of apple pie.
I'm going to say yes.
Are you hungry? Although
Yes.
pie has been mentioned twice already, so
yeah, it's a good number. It's a good food.
It is.
There's a third thing.
How about you, Gabbie? What's your goal?
Oh, yeah.
No pressure.
No. That's usually I have an idea of like what I want to do. I don't know, man. How about this? I'm going to leave it kind of loosey-goosey. I'm going to say I'd love to figure out like a table read. I'd love to figure out like the first episode of the Batshit Roommate podcast. If I could just get my sister and the record button in a room. But, I don't know. I still have TMS, I think, throughout most of December. And yeah. What a decisive way to end the year,
Yes, exactly. I just like, yeah.
And that's, since it's an audio medium, people couldn't really see the utter shrug of it all that I was giving.
They could feel it in your voice. Yeah. I mean, at least I did.
Shrug energy. I get that a lot. They don't say you're shrill. They say you're shrug. I mean, and then the other thing, and this is just left field, you and I did briefly talk about how comedy goal would be me as the host of a late night talk show in the vein of Last Week Tonight, right? And why am I waiting for somebody to give me a shot to do that when, YouTube exists? I have a camera on my phone,
You have a great co-host in Bunny.
Yeah. He wants to be the producer again, and I've told him I can't go down that road again. It's like he's already ruined so many things for me. That would be a great co-host. I could just keep him on the desk, stop talking about important things, and just start petting him for a couple of minutes. That's what the people want to see. Anyway, this is a lot of rambling. So yeah, there's thoughts, there's ideas, there's.
So this short recording is now in 37 minutes long. We'll see how much it gets cut out.
Yeah, great.
A lot of pauses, a lot of pie talk.
Pie talk. Welcome back to Pie Talk.
Yes, Pie Talk. It's like TikTok, but with pie.
That's right. It's actually, we're starting. Welcome to the Kickstarter, because we're doing a GoFundMe. We're raising that venture capital so that we can do Pie Talk. It's not on your phone. It's an actual pie that shows up to your house, and
you just watch it.
You just watch a pie. Stick a penny in your sock and a pie in your lap and wait for the world to catch up.
It's a beautiful world.
And on that note, we thank you for listening to the very end of our podcast, and we can't wait to talk to you again in the 2024s of it all.
Yes. Yeah. See you next year, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good one. Stay safe. Do comedy. Live, laugh, love. High five pie. A million angels. Pie. Damn it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Pie. We did it.
Okay.
Bye.
You nailed it. Bye.
Bye. Welcome to the end of the show. This is Gabbie Blachman.
And this is Heather Nye.
Thank you for listening to Comically Exposed. We are just a little show with two creators who edit and produce each episode. We appreciate all your support.
If you like what you heard, please follow us on Instagram at comicallyexp.podcast. That's comicallyexp.podcast.
Or subscribe to us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. New episodes drop every other Wednesday.
Also, special thanks to Track Club and Golden Finch for providing the music.
Thanks for listening, and hey, everybody, today is a great day to expose yourself. Okay, until next time, ta-da for ta-da!
Bye!
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.